Hey y'all, it's Keisha Smiles. I was gonna get straight to my topics today. I want to talk more about Chicago and the Republicans' plan to, deport thousands and millions of people. Also, I want to get into birthright citizenship and the CB1 application being taken off, the internet, the app. So, it's going to be a mess starting. I don't know exactly when it's going to start, probably towards the end of the week, but they already have, you know, people being deported as we speak. Trump went ahead and closed the borders. So it's just gonna be like it's a lot, and a lot of people will be confused. I was watching the news this morning. They were saying about how this will be affecting the schools, and that's when I really want to go into the Department of Education also. During this video, it's a lot. It's gonna be affecting everybody. I mean everybody, not just Hispanics and Latinos. So we'll see. We'll see. It's very crazy with the birthright citizenship. So they're saying if there's two immigrants from a different country, right? They will be taking their child that they have here in America and no longer giving out birth certificate, social securities. Like, they're not going to be United States citizens. They're going to be immigrants just like their parents. Even if I believe their parents have green cards, the ones that have green cards can keep their green cards, especially if it's up to date. I know there's like work visas. Those are fine, right? There's a lot of people in politics that are on work visas. So it's just going to be a lot. So it's starting mostly in Chicago, right? Now, I reported yesterday during my other video that there were going to be 18 Democratic states suing Donald Trump and the Republicans, the ones that are in his party on his side, because there's a lot of Republicans, we don't really hear their names. They're, they don't really like the plans that he's going to have, a couple years back, we're more worried about crime happening, right? We're more worried about terrorists coming in from the Middle East, and we're worried about maybe the cartels, right? But what Trump is trying to do, he's trying to really ruin families, right? Because there's people here from all different countries, all different nations. They just want to live the American dream. The promise is what they call it, right? And it's just gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. What's making me sad, one of the main reasons that I really wanted Kamala to win, that I voted for her, was because I know she could have did more amazing things when it came to education and the American youth here in America, right? I probably was thinking she's gonna have something amazing for them, and the Republicans would throw out, well, she's not a mother, da, 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 da. But you know what? She's an auntie. Aunties love going to see their nieces and nephews doing things that they love, right? She is a stepmother. I'm sure she loves her stepkids, because the reactions during the campaigning was just pure love, right? I never seen a moment where it looked like her and her husband were, not talking, or they were upset or something like that. And I never heard of anything, right? I just heard negative, people saying negative, trying to bring her down as a woman. But let me get into the education. So Trump did say during his campaigning in his debates that he wanted to close the Department of Education, right? So with this mass deportation of all immigrants, right, from all different countries, but mainly Hispanics and Latinos, it's gonna affect it, right? They're gonna pass how do you say it? I guess they're going to do a executive order, another executive order if he hasn't signed it, right, when he was signing the 200 the other day after the inauguration, to where you could literally walk, the government, right, could walk on to any school campus and take a child off campus to deport them with their families, even if they're born here, right? So people are going to be having children, especially 2025, through the 4 years, right? Their kids, right? Your kids that you're going to have here, they're not going to give your child a birth certificate, a social. They're not going to be a United States citizen, which is just horrible to me, and it's not right. It's not right. Some people, they earned their place to be here. I talked about a man yesterday to where he was gonna, apply for that CB1 application to be here in the United States and work towards his green card. But when he got his money ready, his finances ready in Mexico, and he got ready to come over, and when he got ready to do the application, there was no application, there was no app, right? And he said he ended up coming over here, like I told you yesterday, just crossing the border. I don't know how he crossed the border, but he said he made it over here. But he was trying to do it the right way. And that's what's heartbreaking, because there's people that are trying to do it the right way. You know what I mean? And those people aren't part of terrorist groups or the cartels or whatever. And in no way they're going to make it harder for Americans already here. I knew Trump during, his campaigning and his debates, he was trying to say, oh, they're taking black jobs. No. It's not black jobs. This is America. This is a melting pot, right? We're supposed to be the greatest nation in the world at this point in time, right? We're supposed to make it happen, right? Nobody should be here struggling. We got homeless people on the street, and we shouldn't even have that. That should be, we shouldn't have that. There's countries that don't have that, right? I was talking about China, right? Because I wanted to get on the, I did have it at one point. I was able to post 2 videos when I had the red note. And they don't have to pay taxes once they pay their house off. They don't have to pay mortgage once they pay their house off. Like, it's just amazing at the cultural differences. You know what I mean? America, how can I say it? The only people that really can claim this land is Native Americans. And we have yet to have one of them in office. That would be the day that I think America will be excellent, right? Not great, but excellent, right? Because we've overcome. Once we get a Native American, right? We already had a Barack Obama, even though he was biracial. He still presented himself as a black man, right? As an African American. But yeah, we still have a long way to come, and a lot of people don't want to admit that. We do. We have a long way to come. America was supposed to be a nation under God. And only God can judge, right? I know they're taking away women's reproductive rights. Trump is taking away, I guess, same-sex marriages, right, across the United States. Also, it's going to be only 2 genders, which female and man. That's where he's bringing it back to, right? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Trump and the Republicans, they're trying to be God. You can't be God, right? God said he's the only one that can judge, but to love everyone equally, right? That's not getting done. That's not getting done. Saying, oh, the Republicans like to say, oh, they took God out of the schools, right? They took God out of the schools. Well, whatever school he was going to when they were younger, I don't know if it worked for them. I don't know. I don't know, because that's one thing I will never understand is the judgment, right? The judgment. And I'm a Christian, and I don't get it. We sometimes we are like crucial. We're crucial, and sometimes they don't forgive when you're supposed to forgive, right? So it's gonna be a lot of pain, a lot of, oh, I'll just take it from people until these 4 years is up. And then again, we don't know what's going to happen after the 4 years, right? I also remember Trump saying to his mega group, his followers or whatever, that rubbed us Democrats the wrong way. He was saying, oh, after you vote for me this time, you won't have to vote. You won't have to ever do it again, right? You know, and of course he can only run for 4 more years, right? We don't know what laws he's going to make, new laws that's going to be made, right? We don't know if he's trying to extend his time. We really didn't understand that, and I don't think he ever answered the question. No, he never answered the question. And I'm surprised right after inauguration when he was signing all of those executive orders, he should have really went in about his plans for Department of Education. Instead, he went straight to deporting people, right? Deporting. So you skipped Department of Education, which you're going to destroy, right? Right away for the Federal Department of Education, right? You skipped that and went straight to, oh, I'm going to deport these people and I'm going to take the birth citizenship away. But see, you didn't want to educate us, right? He went right ahead and did kind of like not right when he did it, right? Not right. That I think he did it the wrong way, but everybody is going to have their own opinions to things. But I'm telling you, it's really going to affect the children and the youth. If he's going to allow the federal government, right, the federal law enforcement to go into schools, and our American children, our babies, that families and friends and been here for generations and generations, are going to see their friends screaming and yelling, getting pulled out of their class and disrespected. Think about that. Think about that. I'm always for the children, not just my own. I'm for other people's children too. I love to see a happy kid. I don't want to get emotional, but it's people aren't going to sit down and explain to their kid why the kid got snatched out of school. They're not going to talk about Trump, especially if they voted for him, right? Megan's kids are going to go to school probably, and the friend next to them might be one of those kids that gets snatched up out of the class and deported, not even knowing if they're going to be pulled out of class, taken to their parents and deported, or just pulled out and then separated and deported, like because they can't find mom or they can't find dad, but they know on paper that this kid's parents is an immigrant. Like I don't understand, or this kid is I don't get it, right? And that's what I mean. That's why I was so for when, and I never want people to vote the way that I vote because I'm telling them to vote. I always said during the them campaigning or whatever, because we didn't know if it was going to be Biden and Trump. We didn't know if it was going to be Trump and somebody else, but it ended up Trump and Kamala, right? People needed to do their studies. They did. They needed to do their studies. And I remember working one time, and I had got into something with the employee, and I was really upset, so I had went to go talk to HR about the situation. And it wasn't too serious. People have a choice, right? So I'm gonna go into it. This person had a choice, right? And when I went to go talk to him about it, he said, well, that person didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that for you, right? And I said to myself, you're right, we have a choice. That person didn't have to do that, right? Now, I'm not going to go into the situation or anything because I'm past it. But you know what? That person didn't have to do whatever was going on in the situation. But trust me, that person's actions, right, made other people, other employees, other coworkers look at that person a certain way after that, right? Right? So your choices have an effect after that, right? So you got to make sure you're in the right mindset, and you got to have a heart. Don't be cold, right? Yeah, you have a choice, but don't be cold, and just know your actions are going to have consequences after that. That's all I have to say about that one. Yeah. Right. Because, yeah. And it's just crazy. I was watching a podcast earlier. I'm going to come back on there. They had a guest on there. He was a MAGA, but he wasn't just MAGA. He was like a white supremacist. Not judging, right? Because God is the judge. But he was saying how America is like a white America, and it's basically another European country, and he doesn't want to see a person of color. And I'm not just talking about black. Any person of color that's not Caucasian, ethically Caucasian, as an American president, right? He said, I think he'd rather see an actual person born in Europe as a president than, he said, Barack Obama. That tells you a lot. Yeah, that tells you a lot. I would have to get his, I'm going to look more into him, not just that podcast, right? I'm going to look more into it to get a better idea of his mindset. He said his parents didn't teach him that, but it came from somewhere. It came from somewhere. But that's his choice, right? Choices have consequences. And yeah, so yeah, and I had did a couple of short videos last night. And excuse my language. Sometimes I can't pronounce things, or I just get so tongue twisted. I should have did speech when I was younger, really, because yeah, it would have worked for my benefit. But what was I gonna say? With the Chicago, right? With Chicago, they're gonna be like one of the first states that he's gonna go after. And we just got to do some real wishing the best for those people, right? And I had made a little, I had made a little short video after I got out of the shower last night. My hair, I had a towel and everything, and I was like, you know what, being on red, nope. You've seen the Asian culture in China, and it's absolutely amazing. Every country has its own thing that is like, but even Americans, right? But the Asian culture, the China, they have it, like, I think it's amazing. And if I were those immigrants that might possibly get deported in Chicago and any other states, I think the Democrats, right, like AOC, should talk to Mexico's President Claudia and maybe get a bunch of work employee visas for China, right? That would be something, because those people are so warm. If you're warm to Chinese people, they're warm to you, and they're loving. And I was just thinking that, right? I was just thinking that. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I was just throwing that out there. We don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking, you know, because it's gonna be real sad to see what's gonna happen in these next 4 years. What else is gonna be taking place? And another thing with the women's reproductive been taken away, our right, our choice, that is going to cause a ripple effect, right? So I hope they're prepared for it. Yeah, I hope they're prepared for it. We're all prepared for it. But one thing I'm not doing is I'm not getting out there and protesting. Absolutely not. Our day was when Kamala Harris, you know, November 5th, when we should have all voted Democrat. We'll see. Whatever happens in these next 4 years, I guarantee you after that, we'll have a Democratic president. If Trump doesn't pull something. Or not even Trump. I keep saying Trump, right? Because he has a whole team. If they don't present him something that will be horrible, detrimental to us as Americans. I'm talking all of us. All of us. But I'll be back. Please subscribe. Subscribe if you like my little talks. I know I say words or whatever. Forgive me for that. And I'm going to be trying my best. I'm going to be trying to post every day. And I speak with love. I don't want to judge. But like I was saying, you know, we all have a choice, but your choices have consequences, good or bad. So, yeah. Have a good day. I'll be back. I might do a short. I probably will after this. What I'm going to be planning on talk about next. But yeah. Good day.